You're the parliamentary candidate for Tamworth for the Labour and Co-operative Party. Can you just introduce yourself and share a little bit about your background and your links to Tamworth?
Yes, I've lived in Tamworth now for 7 years, and my son goes to school here. He goes to Rawlett Academy. I've worked in around social care for about health and social care for about 35 years now. I know I look young, but I have worked in health and social care for that long. And I've been an activist in Tamworth since I arrived, and I will always work for the town of Tamworth.
I think for this election, one of the big issues is Brexit.
Yes.
Could you just briefly outline your own personal views and your party's view on Brexit and how this is going to benefit this particular constituency?
I will be perfectly clear that I voted to remain in the European Union, and I still think that would have been the right thing to do. But my party has now reached a sensible position of trying to negotiate a better deal for Britain through Brexit, and negotiate a better deal with the EU, and then put that deal back to the people of Britain and back to the people of Tamworth. I think once the people of Tamworth have had their final say, then we need to live with that decision. But I'm absolutely clear that originally I voted to remain, and I would vote for a second referendum.
Thank you for that. How do you think a vote for Labour is going to improve the standard of life nationally?
Philip Hammond, and locally indeed. Philip Hammond has been absolutely clear that austerity was a political choice and not an economic choice. And I actually think our programme to do away with austerity, to invest in public services, to invest in industry, to invest in the green industrial strategy so that we're beginning to deal with the climate emergency that is so important in our country. I think our programme to end austerity, to invest in services, investing in public services has a long history of generating wealth and generating a good standard of living in the countries in which it's tried. And I think that would work here too. I think in Tamworth, having secure, sustainable jobs that are green, that are climate friendly, that are long term, I think that's the way forward. And our younger people deserve better than to be working in short-term industries that pop up and go away again. A green industrial strategy ensures they have a long-term future.
Thank you. Promises are made by every politician during their lead up to the voting. What's your personal promise to the people of Tamworth?
What I will do, and I've made a number of pledges now, but my first one is that I will support the young people of Tamworth to reach their full potential. So I think the removal of Sure Start centres was a terrible policy, and we need to reinstate them. My son went through a Sure Start service and he benefited enormously from it, and I'm sure many others will. And I want to see good services for younger people. I want to see youth centres. I want to see other services to support them. Children's mental health services in this country are a disgrace, and they need to be invested in, and the Labour Party will invest in them, and I will actually push really hard to make sure we get children's mental health services in Tamworth and to get them to a standard that the younger people need. And as part of that commitment, I will establish a youth council in Tamworth so that the young people can have a say in how this town develops. So it's their town in the future, and they deserve to have a say. And while I'm on that subject, they should have votes at 16. If they can have children, they can have votes at 16.
And finally, can the leader of your party be trusted to keep their promise, bearing in mind that a lot of people at the moment feel very betrayed by politicians of all parties?
Jeremy Corbyn he's a sincere politician, and he tends to say what he means. It may not always be popular, but he says what he means. And one thing I can guarantee you is that everything I say, I will do. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say, and I won't promise something that I can't deliver. I will deliver on those things. I'm not a professional politician, but I live and work in Tamworth, and I'm committed to a better future for this town.
Thank you very much.